The quantum lab hummed with the soft pulse of machinery, a rhythmic heartbeat that Dr. Sarah Chen had grown to find comforting over the past 3 years. Her fingers danced across the holographic interface, adjusting parameters with practiced precision. The quantum tunnel simulator cast a pale blue glow across her face, illuminating the thin scar that ran along her right temple, a souvenir from the accident that had first sparked her obsession with quantum mechanics. Recording test sequence 479, she spoke into the lab's automated logging system, attempting controlled quantum tunneling at macro scale using modified Cullen-Coleman principles. Behind her, banks of servers processed the immense calculations required to predict the behavior of matter at the quantum level. The air crackled with anticipation, or perhaps that was just the static buildup from the quantum field generators. Dr. Chen, Marcus, her graduate assistant, called from his monitoring station, was seeing some unusual readings from the quantum field sensors. Sarah frowned, studying the data streaming across her display. The quantum field was behaving, strangely. Instead of the chaotic but predictable patterns they usually observed, there was something almost rhythmic in the fluctuations. "Run a diagnostic on the sensor array," she ordered, already suspecting this wasn't a technical malfunction. "Already did," Marcus replied, his dark eyes reflecting the concern in his voice. "Everything checks out. These patterns, they're real." Sarah's heart raced as she analyzed the data. The quantum fluctuations weren't random, they carried information. Complex, structured information that couldn't possibly be natural. "Begin recording on all channels," she commanded, her voice steady despite the trembling in her hands. "And someone get Dr. Harrison down here. He needs to see this." As if summoned by her words, the lab door hissed open, and Dr. James Harrison strode in, his silver hair disheveled as always. "I was already on my way," he said, waving a tablet. Every quantum sensor in the facility just lit up like a Christmas tree. The patterns were growing stronger now, more defined. Sarah's quantum tunnel simulator was acting as some kind of receiver, picking up signals that couldn't exist, according to everything they understood about quantum mechanics. "It's not just us," Harrison announced, reading from his tablet. "We're getting reports from quantum research facilities worldwide. Whatever this is, it's happening everywhere." Sarah's fingers flew across the interface, modifying the visualization algorithms. "These patterns, they're not random noise. Look at this." She gestured at the display, where the quantum fluctuations had resolved into complex, crystalline structures that shifted and flowed with alien grace. "My God," Harrison breathed. "It's a language." The crystalline patterns pulsed, and suddenly every screen in the lab flickered. The quantum field generators whined as power surged through them, and the air itself seemed to thicken. In the center of the lab, directly above the quantum tunnel apparatus, reality folded. There was no other word for it. Space itself twisted and warped, forming a perfect sphere of distorted light. Within that sphere, something moved, something that shouldn't be possible. A figure stepped through, or perhaps crystallized would be more accurate. It formed from light and shadow, taking shape as a being that seemed made of living crystal, faceted surfaces catching and refracting light in ways that hurt to look at. It stood roughly human-sized, but any similarity to human form ended there. "Greetings, children of Earth," it spoke, its voice resonating not through the air, but directly in their minds. "We are the Meridians, and we have been watching your quantum experiments with great interest." Sarah found herself stepping forward, drawn by a mixture of scientific curiosity and sheer awe. How are you doing this? The energy requirements for macro-scale quantum tunneling should be impossible by your current understanding, the being completed her thought. But you were closer than you knew. Your species has an unusual talent for intuiting quantum principles. It is one of the reasons we chose to make contact now. Harrison had moved to stand beside Sarah, his scientific skepticism warring with the evidence of his senses. "You've been monitoring our research." The crystalline being shifted, its facets rearranging in what might have been amusement. We have been monitoring all of humanity's advancement. Your species shows remarkable potential, but also concerning tendencies. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine at those words. What do you mean by concerning tendencies? Your progress in quantum mechanics has been unstructured, dangerous. Without guidance, you risk destabilizing local space-time. We cannot allow that. Cannot allow. Harrison's voice carried a note of warning. Who are you, Toe? The being raised what might have been an arm, and Harrison fell silent. We are the guardians of this galaxy's quantum stability. We have watched countless species rise and fall. Some join us. Others choose different paths. Sarah's mind raced, processing the implications. You're here to offer us membership in some kind of galactic community. Yes, the being's mental voice carried satisfaction. But first, you must be optimized. Your current form is insufficient for true quantum manipulation. We can help you transcend your biological limitations. The lab fell silent save for the hum of machinery. Sarah felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. This was first contact, the moment humanity had dreamed of for centuries. But something in the being's words set off warning bells in her mind. And if we refuse this, optimization? The crystalline being's facets darkened slightly. That would be unfortunate, but the stability of space-time must be maintained, one way or another. Sarah's fingers clenched into fists. There it was, the threat beneath the offer. She thought of all the human advancement that had come from unstructured thinking, from creativity and intuition rather than rigid optimization. We'll need time to consider your offer, she said carefully. This isn't a decision that can be made by a few scientists in a lab. Of course, the being agreed. You have one orbital period of your planet to reach consensus. We will return for your answer. The crystalline form began to dissolve back into quantum fluctuations. Choose wisely, children of Earth. The future of your species depends on it. As the being vanished and the quantum distortion collapsed, Sarah exchanged looks with Harrison and Marcus. They all understood what had just happened. Humanity had been given its first test as a spacefaring species, and failure wasn't an option. Get me the Secretary of Science, Harrison said quietly, and get every quantum physicist on Earth on a secure conference call. We have work to do. Sarah turned back to her quantum tunnel simulator, her mind already racing with possibilities. The Meridians thought human innovation was dangerous and unstructured. Perhaps it was time to show them just how dangerous human creativity could be. The game was on, and humanity's freedom hung in the balance. Sarah's footsteps echoed through the underground facility that had become humanity's primary defense headquarters. 3 months had passed since first contact, and the pristine research lab had transformed into a bustling command center. Holographic displays lined the walls, tracking quantum disturbances worldwide. They're watching us, she announced to the assembled team of scientists and military officials. Her hand swept across the main display, highlighting dozens of quantum anomalies. These disturbances, they're not random. The Meridians have observation points throughout our solar system. General Laura Martinez, the newly appointed head of Earth's Defense Initiative, stepped forward. Her weathered face bore the strain of sleepless nights. How certain are you about this, Dr. Chen? Completely. Sarah pulled up her latest analysis. We've decoded some of their quantum signatures. They're not just watching our scientific progress, they're monitoring everything. Military installations, power grids, population centers. They're assessing our threat level. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Dr. Harrison, now leading the Global Quantum Defense Project, spoke first. Show them what else we found, Sarah. With a grim nod, she switched to a different data set. 2 days ago, we detected a quantum transmission from Mars. At first, we thought it was another observation post, but she enhanced the recording. The quantum patterns resolved into images that made several people gasp. The pictures showed ruins, ancient structures buried beneath the Martian soil, their crystalline architecture unmistakably similar to Meridian technology. But these structures were shattered, broken, destroyed. Mars had previous inhabitants, Sarah continued, and based on the quantum decay rates of these ruins, they were there roughly 50,000 years ago. They were attacked, systematically eliminated. By the Meridians? General Martinez asked, though they all knew the answer. Yes, and Mars isn't the only example. More images appeared, quantum echoes from Venus, Europa, even several exoplanets. All showed similar patterns of destruction. Every civilization that refused optimization was wiped out. The Meridians don't just guard quantum stability, they enforce their version of evolution. Dr. Kendra Williams, a xenobiologist, stepped closer to the displays. The optimization process, it's not just technological advancement, is it? They want to fundamentally change what we are. Sarah shook her head. Based on our analysis of their quantum technology, the process would rewrite our very molecular structure. We become like them, crystalline beings bound by rigid, predictable patterns. They see our biological nature as chaotic, dangerous. They want to remove what makes us human, Harrison added quietly. But why? Lieutenant Commander James Chen, no relation to Sarah, spoke up from his position near the door. Why go to all this trouble? Why not just eliminate us like the others? Sarah brought up a new set of readings. Because we surprised them. Our approach to quantum mechanics, what they called unstructured, achieved results they thought impossible. We're the first species they've encountered who reached this level of quantum understanding while remaining biological. A threat to their worldview, Martinez mused. If we can achieve what they can without sacrificing our humanity, then their entire basis for enforcing optimization crumbles, Sarah completed. But there's more. She hesitated, then displayed her most recent discovery. I've detected quantum communications between Meridian observers. There are disagreements among them. Some question the optimization doctrine. Hope flickered across several faces, but Harrison remained cautious. Can we verify this? Could it be a deception? The quantum signatures are genuine, Sarah assured him, and it makes sense. Even crystalline beings can't completely eliminate diversity of thought. Some of them see value in our chaos. Martinez straightened, her military bearing more pronounced. So we have potential allies among them. Can we communicate with these dissidents? Not yet, but Sarah smiled for the first time in days. Remember that unstructured breakthrough they found so interesting? I've been working on something. She activated her quantum simulator, now modified far beyond its original design. Above the device, space rippled in a way that was becoming familiar. But this time, the distortion was different. Instead of the perfect crystalline patterns of Meridian quantum manipulation, this distortion flowed and shifted like water, like living tissue. It was quantum tunneling, but done in a uniquely human way. They can create quantum tunnels by forcing space-time to conform to their rigid patterns, Sarah explained as her colleagues stared in wonder. But we found a way to work with space-time's natural fluctuations, less powerful perhaps, but far more flexible, and completely undetectable to their monitoring systems. Harrison's eyes widened as he understood. We can communicate without them knowing, move resources, coordinate resistance. Better than that. Sarah's smile grew fierce. We can reach out to their dissidents directly, show them there's another way. The quantum distortion pulsed with possibilities. The Meridians think they need to optimize us to prevent chaos. We're going to show them that chaos, creativity, adaptability, human ingenuity isn't a weakness to be eliminated. It's our greatest strength. General Martinez studied the flowing quantum field, then nodded decisively. How long until this system is ready for full deployment? 2 weeks, Sarah replied. Less if I can get more quantum processors. You'll have them by morning. Martinez turned to address the room. Ladies and gentlemen, We have just over 8 months until the Meridians return for their answer. I suggest we make them count. As the others filed out to begin implementing their parts of the plan, Sarah remained at her console, fine-tuning the quantum field. In its shifting patterns, she saw hope, not just for humanity's survival, but for something greater. A chance to prove that progress didn't require the sacrifice of what made them human. The Meridians thought they were coming to pass judgment on humanity. Instead, humanity would show them a whole new way to evolve. In the depths of her quantum field, patterns shifted like whispers, carrying the first seeds of revolution across the stars. A shimmering quantum field enveloped the test chamber as Sarah made final adjustments to her latest prototype. 5 months into humanity's preparation, the underground facility had evolved into something that would have seemed impossible just half a year ago. Organic quantum processors, grown from modified human neural tissue, lined the walls, a development that would have horrified the Meridian's sense of order. Field stability at 97%, Marcus reported from his station, now augmented with neural interfaces that let him process quantum data directly. Better than yesterday. Sarah nodded, her focus on the device floating in the center of the chamber. Unlike the crystalline precision of Meridian technology, her creation looked almost alive. A swirling mass of quantum energies contained within a lattice of organic compounds and rare earth elements. They dubbed it the Quantum Echo Chamber, or QEC. Beginning transmission test, she announced. The device pulsed, sending ripples through local space-time. On the other side of the facility, its twin responded, creating a stable quantum tunnel that bypassed normal space entirely. But unlike Meridian tunnels, this one was virtually undetectable. It worked with space-time's natural fluctuations rather than forcing them into rigid patterns. Connection stable, Dr. Williams confirmed from the receiving station. Quantum coherence maintaining at... Wait. She paused, checking readings. Sarah, we're picking up something else. The tunnel's resonating with external quantum signatures. Sarah's heart raced as she analyzed the data. It's them. The dissidents we detected, they're trying to communicate. But QEC's field shifted, colors dancing through it like aurora borealis. Patterns emerged, not the rigid crystalline language of official Meridian communication, but something more fluid, adapted to their human receivers. Recording, Marcus said quickly, running it through the translation matrix. The message resolved slowly, converting to human language. We see you. We understand. Others like US. Waiting. The optimization must end. General Martinez, who had been observing silently, stepped forward. Can we respond? Already on it. Sarah's fingers danced across her neural interface, composing a reply in the same fluid quantum language. Sending, we offer another way. Evolution without loss of self. Who are you? The response came faster this time. We are TAE unbound. First ones who sold the FLO. Optimization BREEDs, stagnation. Your CAOs berörings kiorofe. How many of you are there? Sarah transmitted. More than they know. Waiting for CATLOST. You are CATLOEST. Before they could respond, new quantum signatures flooded their sensors. Multiple Meridian patrols approaching the solar system, Marcus warned. Standard observation pattern, but... Their increasing surveillance, Martinez concluded. They must suspect something. The dissident transmission pulsed urgently. Must end now. They search for US. Proricare. The time coming is soon. The quantum tunnel collapsed as the dissidents withdrew, leaving the chamber in tense silence. Well, Harrison said from his observation post, I guess we're not the only ones planning a revolution. Sarah was already analyzing the recorded quantum signatures. The way they communicated, it was different from standard Meridian patterns. They've evolved, found ways to break free from crystalline rigidity without losing their advanced capabilities. Can they be trusted? Martinez asked the question they were all considering. They took an enormous risk contacting us, Sarah replied, and their quantum signatures, they're closer to our organic patterns than to meridian crystalline structures. They found their own path between chaos and order. Which means our approach could work for others, Williams added excitedly. The QEEC isn't just a communication device, it's proof that there's another way to advance. A warning klaxon interrupted their discussion. Meridian quantum surge detected, Marcus announced. Big one. They're forming a tunnel in high orbit. The main display activated, showing a massive crystalline ship emerging from quantum space. Unlike the elegant but rigid designs they'd seen before, this vessel bristled with weapons. That's not an observation ship, Martinez said grimly. The ship's quantum signature pulsed, broadcasting on all frequencies, a tantalizing humans. Unauthorized HUM experiments, DHTTTD. CES old HUM research immediate alloy. Failure to serum pedali will result an immediate optimization. Sarah's hands clenched into fists. They're scared. They know we're onto something. Can they detect the HFY? Harrison asked. No, but they know we're doing something. Sarah turned to Martinez. General, I need more time. The organic quantum processes aren't fully developed. If we can hold them off for another month. Martinez nodded sharply. You'll have it. She activated the facility's quantum-shielded communications. All stations, this is General Martinez. Implementation of Protocol Omega authorized. I repeat, Protocol Omega is now active. Around the world, hidden quantum devices activated, creating a web of subtle distortions that would mask their true research. A necessary deception, but one that would only work temporarily. They'll see through it eventually, Sarah warned. Then we better make every second count. Martinez turned to the assembled team. Ladies and gentlemen, the endgame has begun. Whatever you're working on, whatever you need, it happens now. Because when that shield fails, we need to be ready. Sarah returned to the QEC, her mind already racing with improvements. The device hummed with potential, its quantum field shifting like liquid starlight. In its patterns, she saw the future they were fighting for, not the sterile perfection of meridian optimization, but something new, something that combined the best of both worlds. The crystalline ship loomed in orbit, its weapons primed, while beneath the surface of the Earth, humanity prepared to show the galaxy that chaos and order didn't have to be enemies. They could dance together, creating something greater than either alone. The revolution was about to begin. The Orbital Defense Center shuddered as another quantum surge rippled through Earth's atmosphere. Sarah watched the holographic display with growing concern as more Meridian ships emerged from quantum space. The crystalline vessels arranged themselves in a perfect geometric pattern around the planet, beautiful, lethal, and utterly alien. 37 ships now, Marcus reported, his neural interface streaming data directly to his consciousness. Their quantum signatures are synchronized. They're preparing something big. Sarah's modified HDC pulsed in response to the massive quantum disturbances, its organic lattice adapting and learning from each new pattern. The device had evolved far beyond its original design, becoming something that blended human intuition with quantum mechanics in ways that still surprised its creators. Message from the Meridian flagship, Lieutenant Commander Chen announced. Text only, broadcasting globally. The message appeared on all screens. Your TRAC period ASNDT. Your QUNTUM experiments demonstrate dangerous ANSTA superiority to optimization or FAC immediate INTRV in turn. General Martinez stood at the command center's heart, her face illuminated by the swirling quantum displays. Dr. Chen, are we ready? Sarah checked the status of their planetary defense network. hundreds of HFY nodes hidden beneath the Earth's surface, all synchronized through their organic quantum processors. As ready as we'll ever be. Then let's show them what unstructured thinking can do. Martinez opened a channel to all Earth defense stations. This is General Martinez. Operation Quantum Dance is now active. All stations, initiate your sequences. Across the globe, HFY nodes activated simultaneously. But instead of the rigid, controlled quantum fields the Meridians expected, these fields flowed and shifted like ocean currents, creating patterns that mimicked natural quantum fluctuations. The entire planet became enveloped in a quantum dance that was both chaos and harmony. The Meridian ships reacted instantly, their crystalline structures blazing with energy as they attempted to establish control over Earth's quantum space. But wherever their rigid fields touched the human quantum dance, they found nothing solid to grasp. "It's working," Sarah breathed, watching the Meridians' frustrated attempts to lock onto their defenses. "They can't get a fix on our quantum signature because it's constantly changing, evolving." A new quantum surge announced the arrival of the Meridian leader, the same being that had first appeared in Sarah's lab. Its crystalline form materialized in the command center, somehow even more imposing than before. "This is impossible," it declared, its mental voice tinged with what might have been fear. "Your species cannot have mastered quantum manipulation to this degree, not while maintaining your chaotic biological nature." Sarah stepped forward, feeling the quantum fields dancing around her through her neural interface. "We didn't master it. We learned to work with it, to flow with the natural chaos of space-time instead of trying to force it into rigid patterns." "Impossible," the being repeated. "Quantum manipulation requires perfect order, perfect control." "Does it?" Sarah gestured, and the HFY's field enveloped the room. Within it, quantum patterns swirled like living art, each fluctuation building on the last in an endless dance of creation and adaptation. Look at your own history. Billions of years of enforcing optimization, and what has it brought you? Stagnation, rigidity, fear of anything that doesn't fit your perfect crystalline patterns. The Meridian leader's facets darkened. "You understand nothing. Without order, without optimization, the galaxy would collapse into chaos. Or it would evolve." A new voice spoke, not through sound or thought, but through quantum fluctuations themselves. The air shimmered, and 3 new forms appeared. They were Meridian, yet different, their crystalline structures flowing and shifting like liquid light. "The Unbound," Sarah whispered, recognizing their quantum signatures from earlier communications. "Brothers," the leader addressed the newcomers, its mental voice harsh. "You abandon our ways for this primitive chaos." "We abandon stagnation for growth," one of the Unbound replied. "We have watched humanity achieve in months what took us millennia. That chaos does not weaken quantum manipulation, it strengthens it, allows it to adapt and evolve." The leader's form pulsed with barely contained energy. "Then you will fall with them." It raised an appendage, and the Meridian fleet above began to power up their weapons. But Sarah was ready. Now, she commanded through the quantum network. Every HFY node on Earth pulsed simultaneously, their quantum fields merging into something entirely new, a planetary consciousness composed of billions of human minds linked through organic quantum processors. The Meridian weapons fired, their energy lancing down through the atmosphere. But where they struck, the quantum dance simply shifted, absorbed, adapted. The attacks became part of the defense, that energy flowing back into the planetary network. "Impossible," the leader whispered again, but this time with understanding dawning in its mental voice. "No," Sarah corrected, feeling the power of humanity's unified consciousness flowing through her. "Inevitable. Evolution doesn't follow a single path. The universe doesn't want perfect order. It wants growth, change, adaptation. That's what we offer. A new way forward, combining the best of both our natures." The Unbound moved to stand beside her, their quantum fields harmonizing with Earth's defenses, Above, more Meridian ships were appearing, but these bore the fluid signatures of other Unbound, drawn by the possibility of change. The leader looked from the Unbound to the humans, its rigid certainty wavering for the first time in millennia. What are you offering? Sarah smiled, extending her hand as the quantum dance swirled around them all. Partnership. A chance to learn from each other. To grow beyond what either of us could become alone. The quantum fields pulsed with possibility, and for a moment, all present could see it. A future where order and chaos danced together in endless evolution, creating something greater than the sum of its parts. The revolution had begun, not with destruction, but with an invitation to dance. The quantum field surrounding Earth pulsed with new energy as hundreds more ships appeared in orbit. But unlike the perfect geometric formations of the Meridian fleet, these vessels moved in fluid, organic patterns. The Unbound had arrived in force, drawn by humanity's quantum dance. Multiple quantum signatures detecting across the solar system, Marcus reported, his neural interface processing the flood of data. It's not just ships, entire quantum structures are emerging from hidden space. Sarah watched in awe as ancient Meridian outposts transformed, their crystalline rigidity flowing into new forms that merged order and chaos. The Unbound hadn't just been hiding, they'd been preparing, waiting for this moment. The Meridian leader's form flickered with conflicting energies. What have you done? It demanded, watching its perfect system crumble. Centuries of optimization, of perfect order, were always an illusion, one of the Unbound completed. Life cannot be optimized into perfection. It must be free to grow, to change, to evolve. Above Earth, the two fleets faced each other, the rigid crystalline patterns of traditional Meridian ships against the flowing quantum structures of the Unbound. The moment balanced on a knife's edge. Final warning, the leader broadcast to all. Return to optimization protocols or face extinction. This chaotic infection must not spread. Sarah felt humanity's unified consciousness surge through the quantum network. Billions of minds working in harmony, yet each remaining uniquely individual. You still don't understand, she said softly. Look at what we've achieved. Not through rigid control, but through cooperation, through embracing the chaos of creativity. The TEC pulsed, projecting images of human quantum technology. Neural interfaces that worked with the brain's natural chaos instead of suppressing it. Quantum processors that grew and evolved like living things. Ships' designs that flowed like water while maintaining structural integrity through quantum field manipulation. Your optimization doctrine is based on fear, Sarah continued. Fear of change, of loss of control. But look at your own people. She gestured to the Unbound. They found another way, and now we offer that way to all. The leader's crystalline form trembled. The doctrine has preserved quantum stability for millions of years. Without it, we can grow. The words came from a new voice. Another Meridian ship had quantum tunneled directly into Earth orbit, larger than the others. Its quantum signature radiated ancient power, but with undertones of the same fluid adaptation the Unbound had mastered. The first speaker, the Unbound, whispered in reverence, the original architect of optimization who disappeared eons ago. The massive ship's quantum field enveloped the command center, and a new being materialized. Its crystalline structure was a paradox, both rigid and fluid, ordered yet constantly changing. I have watched, it announced, waited, searched for a species that could show us another path. The first speaker turned to the leader. Our fear of chaos led us to enforce optimization across the galaxy, but in doing so, we optimized ourselves into stagnation. These humans, it gestured to Sarah and the assembled Earth forces, they have achieved in months what we could not in millennia, because they embrace chaos as a force of creation, not destruction. The quantum fields around Earth shifted again as more ships arrived, but these were different, alien vessels of countless designs, organic and mechanical, flowing and crystalline. The others you thought destroyed, the first speaker explained. I saved them, hid them, waited for this moment. Sarah's neural interface buzzed with new quantum signatures as ships from dozens of species revealed themselves. Each have found their own path between order and chaos, surviving in secret with the help of the first speaker and the unbound. The leader's form pulsed with distress. All this time, you worked against the doctrine. I worked toward evolution, the first speaker corrected. The doctrine was meant to guide, not constrain. We lost sight of that, became trapped in our own crystalline perfection. It turned to Sarah. Humanity has shown us another way, not the elimination of order, but its marriage with chaos. A true optimization that embraces growth and change. Above Earth, the fleet configurations were shifting. More and more Meridian ships broke formation, their quantum signatures beginning to pulse in harmony with the unbound. The rigid geometric patterns dissolved into flowing, organic movements that still maintained perfect tactical coordination. The time of forced optimization is over, the first speaker declared. A new age begins, one of voluntary evolution, of infinite paths forward. It extended its form toward the leader. Will you join us in this dance? The leader's crystalline structure shimmered with internal conflict. Centuries of doctrine warred with the evidence before it. Finally, its form began to shift, rigid facets softening into flowing patterns. How do we begin? Sarah stepped forward, the quantum dance swirling around her. The same way we did. One step at a time, learning to flow with the natural chaos of existence while maintaining the strength of ordered thought. She gestured to the QEC. We can show you. The quantum fields pulsed with new energy as human and alien consciousness met and merged through the network. Not in rigid optimization, but in a dance of infinite possibility. Order and chaos, structure and freedom, all moving together in an ever-evolving symphony of creation. The revolution hadn't just succeeded, it had transformed into something greater. A new form of evolution that would reshape the galaxy one quantum dance at a time. Above Earth, the combined fleet moved in patterns never before seen in the galaxy. Perfect order emerging from embraced chaos, strength flowing from accepted change. The age of optimization was over. The age of quantum evolution had begun. 1 year after the quantum revolution, the Sol system had become unrecognizable. Quantum structures flowed through space like cosmic artwork, blending human innovation with alien technology. Ships of all species moved freely through the quantum dance, each adding their own unique patterns to the greater whole. Sarah stood in the new Quantum Concordat headquarters, built within a space station that merged crystalline Meridian architecture with organic human design. Through her enhanced neural interface, she could feel the pulse of quantum communications flowing across the galaxy. Billions of minds sharing thoughts and ideas while maintaining their unique individuality. The latest transformation reports are in, Marcus announced, his own consciousness now seamlessly integrated with the quantum network. 17 more Meridian systems have adopted the new evolution protocols. The rigid optimization doctrine is officially a minority position. Sarah smiled, watching the quantum fields ripple with constant innovation. The former Meridian leader, now called the Bridge, approached, its crystalline form flowing with new patterns that would have been impossible a year ago. You were right, it communicated, no longer using rigid mental projection, but flowing quantum resonance. We feared chaos because we didn't understand it. Couldn't see that true stability comes from adaptation, not control. Understanding isn't control, Sarah agreed, a phrase that had become something of a mantra for their new civilization. How are the elder Meridians adapting? Better than expected. Many say they feel young again. The quantum dance has awakened patterns that were suppressed for millennia. The Bridge's form shifted, expressing amusement. Some are even experimenting with partial biological integration. A new quantum signature announced the arrival of the first speaker, its massive consciousness flowing through the station's quantum field. Unlike before, It now existed as a distributed quantum entity, able to manifest wherever the dance flowed. "The galaxy awakens," it announced, its presence filling the chamber with swirling patterns of energy. New species emerged daily from hidden places, each bringing their own movements to the dance. And look, it projected a quantum image of deep space, where something extraordinary was taking place. Vast clouds of cosmic dust were moving in strange patterns, carrying complex quantum signatures. "The dance spreads beyond consciousness," the first speaker explained. "Even non-sentient matter begins to flow with quantum possibility. Evolution accelerates." Dr. Harrison appeared through a quantum tunnel, his aged face now bearing the subtle glow of quantum integration. "We're detecting new patterns in space-time itself," he reported excitedly. "The quantum dance isn't just changing us, it's changing the fundamental structure of reality." As it should, came a new voice. A young meridian emerged from the quantum field, its form unlike anything seen before, neither fully crystalline nor fully organic, but something gloriously in between. Reality was never meant to be static. Sarah recognized the quantum signature. "You're one of the first," she realized, "born into the dance." "The first of many," the young one confirmed. "We emerge understanding both order and chaos, structure and freedom. The galaxy sings with possibility." Through her quantum connection, Sarah felt the truth of those words. The rigid barriers between species were dissolving, replaced by a flowing exchange of ideas and forms. Humans remained human, meridians remained meridian, but all were free to explore new ways of being, new paths of evolution. The former leader, the bridge, moved to the station's observation window, its form reflecting the stellar light. "We thought optimization meant perfection through uniformity. Instead, we find perfection in infinite variation." "Not perfection," Sarah corrected gently. "Evolution. Constant growth, constant change. The dance never ends, it just finds new rhythms." As if in response, the quantum fields surrounding Earth pulsed with new energy. The planetary consciousness that had begun as a defense mechanism had evolved into something extraordinary, a flowing matrix of human minds, linked through the quantum dance, each maintaining perfect individuality while contributing to a greater whole. "We've detected something," Marcus announced suddenly. "At the galaxy's edge. New quantum signatures, unlike anything we've seen." The first speaker's form pulsed with excitement. "Other galaxies begin their own dances. The revolution spreads across the cosmos." Sarah felt the quantum fields shift as the assembled beings processed this news. Their movement had grown far beyond resistance to optimization. It had become a fundamental shift in how life itself could evolve. "What now?" the young meridian asked, its form shimmering with possibility. Sarah looked out at the flowing quantum structures that filled space, at the ships moving in their endless dance, at the borders between species and energies dissolving into streams of pure potential. "Now," she said, feeling the quantum dance pulse through her consciousness, "we explore, we grow, we become more than we ever imagined possible." She turned to face the assembled beings, human, meridian, unbound, and dozens of other species, all moving to the same quantum rhythm. The edge was never meant to be a boundary, it was always an invitation to go beyond. The quantum fields surged with shared purpose as the combined consciousness of 1,000 species looked toward the cosmic horizon. They had overcome the doctrine of optimization not through war or dominance, but through the simple truth that chaos and order were never meant to be enemies. They were dance partners in the greatest revolution of all, the endless evolution of life itself. Above them, the quantum dance continued, its patterns extending into infinity, carrying the promise of unlimited possibility to every corner of existence. The story of humanity's defiance had become the story of the galaxy's awakening. And the dance was only beginning.